Today, across the country, in more than 100 cities, thousands of service and healthcare workers participated in a strike for Black Lives, a union-led protest with workers walking off the job to protest for both racial and economic justice in the midst of the pandemic. ABC's Will Carr followed the protest in Los Angeles today. He joins us now. Will, what sorts of changes are these protesters calling for?
Well, Lindsay, the protest here in Los Angeles had multiple stops. It just wound up here at USC, and you can see that sign on that truck that says abolish the USC Police Department. They are also calling for major corporations all across the country that came out in support of Black Lives Matter in the wake of George Floyd's death to now come out and support both their black and their brown employees, the essential workforce, the people who are members of the service industry, people who work in fast food restaurants who cannot work from home and are so worried about getting infected by COVID and possibly taking it back to their families.
I have to go to work. I have to take care of my family, and it's scary because my parents are older. You know, my dad's 71, my mom's 62. They're both cancer survivors. So every day I go home, I'm scared, like they might get it.
And she is not alone. Protesters are asking for more PPE, hazard pay, and better training, among other things. We spoke to William LaChapelle today, who brought his 2-year-old son to the protest. He was an Uber driver until the pandemic hit. He's now trying to drive for DoorDash to provide for his 7 kids. He tells me he has not received any government aid while he continues to worry about the world that his kids are growing up in.
It's a worry every time you get pulled over around it.
And what is that worry when you look at your son and your other kids?
I worry a lot about it. Worry that I might not be here to raise him one day because of the color of my skin.
LaChapelle tells me if there is a silver lining with all of this, is that he's had more time at home with his family. Lindsay.
And Will, are the protesters protecting themselves, trying to safely protest during this pandemic?
So that is really challenging. I've been at a lot of protests over the past couple of months, and that is really difficult during a pandemic. We did see some creativity today, people protesting from their cars. They went from one location to another in their cars, but at certain points, people did get out. They were not within, not keeping a 6 feet distance from each other, but pretty much everybody was wearing their masks today. So that is good, but that is the challenge with protests during a pandemic. Lindsay.
Indeed. Okay, Will Carr for us in Los Angeles. Thanks so much, Will.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.